Hello everybody and welcome back. Today I'm going to talk about one of my favorite subjects is chandeliers. I just love chandeliers. There are so many styles and variations to choose from. It can be overwhelming. I know that whenever I tell my clients you need to put a chandelier in this room, sometimes I get a very perplexed look in their face going, really? You don't want hi-hats? No, we don't want hi-hats. Hi-hats are okay in the kitchen, but they should not be in your living room or your dining room or anywhere else, as a matter of fact. I know electricians like to put them in because they're simple, they're very easy to install, but honestly, nothing adds elegance and class to any room until you put a chandelier. But there is a lot of different styles and variation of styles, so we're going to go and touch on a couple of them so you have a better understanding of them. Okay, so the first one I want to talk about is called shade. Shade chandelier, which kind of looks like this, okay, can be made from glass or material. This one is material. It surrounds the individual light, as you can see here, and can be modern or traditional. You've seen this. This has been around for a while. So this is the material. I'm going to show you what the glass looks like. So this is what the glass looks like. You see these a lot in Home Depot and Lowe's. They've been around. It's not my particular favorite because been there, done that kind of thing. It's like I said, it's been around a while, so I like the new versions that are out there. But if you like it, go for it. The next one I want to talk about is crystals. Let me see if I can put that on here. It's a little, okay, sorry about that. What I call bling bling. It's one of my favorite. It is a very traditional look. It is lots of crystals on this, as you can see, bulbs surrounded by glass crystals. The glass can be, it can be glass instead of crystals, I'm sorry. It could also be acrylic, that's a cheaper version. I would stay more with the glass, and if you can afford the crystals, go with the crystals, because when the light hits the cuts on the crystals, it is fabulous. That's why I would stay away from the acrylic, because it's not the same. But if you're looking to put this chandelier in your office or in the bathroom, acrylic, it wouldn't be too bad. But I think if you're going for the living room, the dining room, the bedroom, you kind of want the real thing. It has a very dramatic effect. This is one style. There's many different variations on the crystals. You can get get a lot of crystals, a little less. Some of them have metal. This is all glass. Some of them have some metal to it. I kind of like the all glass because, again, I think it's more dramatic. It lets a lot of the light filter through, which is very dynamic look with the crystal. The next one I want to talk about is, and I know you have all seen this around, okay, this is actually called the candle. And I think you can understand why, because it's a chandelier that looks like it has candles on it. In the old days, they did that a lot, but they had the real candles. This style is often a hybrid. Sometimes they put the candles with the crystal, and sometimes they put that within a cage or a globe, and you'll understand more about it when I show you some other pictures. Tends to be more traditional. It's very simple, but again, can make a very, very unique statement in any space. So this is the candle style. The next one I'm going to talk about is mini. There's really nothing fabulous about it, and this is just one particular style, but a mini is just that. It's a small chandelier, usually anywhere between 8, 9, 10, maybe even 11 inches wide, so that is really very tiny. It's great for bathrooms. Yes, bathrooms. It's also great for the hallways. It's convenient in a room that can't accommodate a larger chandelier. So, like, again, bathroom and maybe like a hallway, or maybe you want to put it in a kid's bedroom, very small kid's bedroom, you can definitely do that. But like I said, every room can take a chandelier. There's nothing wrong with it. So this is the mini style. The next style is one of my favorites. It is called the drum style. Okay? This drum here, Oh, it's one of my favorite. I think I actually have this one going into my bedroom. Is a drum, but this drum has crystals on it. It's a beautiful, and again, different metals. You can have this one is in the satin or chrome, I should say. It also comes in the gold. It can come in the um, bronze. There's different metal finishes and different fabric finishes. But this is crystal drum. It's called a drum because it's shaped like a drum. This one is made out of wood. It's kind of unique look, but again, the holes are perforated so the light can come through. But again, it's a very unique look. If you want to add a little rustic element to the room, it's very pretty. This is the metal one. This one is metal. Again, see the candle when I was telling you about the candle chandelier and mixed inside a drum. So most of these chandeliers are a variation of one another. They kind of intermingle, but we kind of give them a name. We call this one the drum because basically it's inside of a shade that looks like a drum. This one again is metal. And then you've got your traditional, just plain drum again. Nothing extravagant about it, but again, put it in a room and it definitely will definitely add some class and style to that space. So this is the drum chandelier. The next one is kind of a unique chandelier. I'm sure you've seen it around. It's not very common. I've seen it in a couple of houses. I'm not particularly crazy about it, but it's not a bad look. I'm sure you'll recognize it once I put it up. Okay, this is actually called Sputnik. Okay, and you can see that the lights are on the end. Sometimes they have it on both sides, different variations. It's a light explosion is what it is, with a series of light branches that branch out, as you can see. Some are symmetrical circles and some are more rounded. It all depends on the style, and again, all different styles of finishes. So this one's more of the round style, and you can see that this one is more of a rounded pattern. Okay, so it all depends what you're looking for, but this is really called a Sputnik. Okay, next one is another one of my favorite. I got a few favorites. Like I said, I love chandelier. It's actually called an empire. Let me show you this one. Talk about bling, right? It actually has two sections. You can see here the top section right here, okay? It is more of a cone shape, okay? The bottom right here is more of a bell or a bowl shape. Is a series of light and crystal. It's very formal and it's more traditional. And again, there's variations of this. Now, this one you can see has some gold, it has some crystals, so it's very, very elegant. It's very formal, would be great in a dining room, would be great in a beautiful, huge hallway, cathedral hallway. But then you have something like this. Yeah. You can have seashells. And then you can see this one has a little bit more of a rustic look to it. So again, you have variations in all these different styles. And again, I could have showed you plenty of this. And some of these they call what they call a barrel, because it kind of looks like a wine barrel, but it kind of fits into this empire style chandelier. So this is called the empire. All right. The next one, again, lots of variations on this one, is called, let me put this up for you so you can see, the waterfall. It has many shapes and many forms. It can be glass, it can be crystal, but it tends to have a drip effect, like it's dripping, you see? Like it's dripping down, okay, drip down from the top. The base can be round, square, or geometric. There's really tons of variation on this particular look. But man, oh man, this is a very classy look. So you can see this one's more square. This one's my favorite. This one is more oval. I actually love this one, and I'm actually putting this variation of it in the hallway. It's a little bit smaller, and it doesn't have that chain. It's more of a ceiling mount, but oh my God, it's absolutely gorgeous. Again, the crystals can be glass, they can be crystals, they can be acrylic, and that will dictate the price of the chandelier for sure. Crystals are going to be a lot more money than acrylic, but this is actually called the waterfall. And the last variation is this one here. And I'm sorry you really can't see it, but these are actually little crystals, little faceted crystals. And again, it's a waterfall. Kind of looks like it's just coming down. So this is the waterfall. And there's many more variations in that. Some of them spiral. I mean, there really is tons of variation on that particular style. The next one I want to talk about, again, I'm sure you recognize this one. This one you see a lot in Lowe's and Home Depot. Again, not my favorite because it's been around and been there, done that. This is called a center bowl. And the reason it's called a center bowl is because the main light shape is a bowl at the bottom, which is right there, as you can see. It is just the bowl. If it was just the bowl and you got rid of these pieces right here, then it would be a pendant, not so much a chandelier. That's what makes it different. It's got these extra lights right here, okay? The bowl is surrounded by smaller lights. Again, this is something that you see quite common in Lowe's and Home Depot, and this is called the center bowl. Okay. The next one I want to talk about is called the island. I like this one. All right. This is the island. It's a series of lights sitting on the arm or branches that are horizontally configured, as you can see here. This can be an island pendant as well. The lines are blurry sometimes because sometimes they call this a pendant rather than a chandelier. This is great for over, say you've got an island, or if you're lucky to have a billiard table, you can definitely put that over there, but it is very unique look. Now this one is an island inside of a cage, and I'll explain to you later what a cage is. That's coming up so you'll understand it is. But again, lots of variation on these chandeliers. They do tend to overlap. So this is the island, but this is another variation of the island. Okay, and sometimes they vary the height on these too. So this is also the island. Okay, this one. And this one, I think you all are aware of this one, is many, many variations to this one. This is called the globe. Now this one is wood. It's shaped like a globe, hence the name globe. A series of light wrapped in a cage, when I talk about it, or material to create a globe effect. It comes in metal, wood, some come in glass, comes in all variations. But this one, you can see, the glass, the light in the middle, and it's surrounded by wood. So this is the globe. This is wood. Here it is in metal. Now this metal has a more of a uniform look. It looks like you're cutting a watermelon and you're just getting slices. Well, maybe not a watermelon, a honeydew cantaloupe. A honeydew or cantaloupe, okay? As opposed to this, when I told this to my client, she started laughing. But I'm going to tell you, this to me looks like an atom. You know, those little, scientific, the atoms, okay, because it just, like the Big Bang Theory, you're always showing that. Okay, no, it's kind of strange, but that's what it is. I prefer this look a little bit more than this one. That's just my preference, but again, also metal, also called the globe. And believe it or not, this is called the globe. It's a little different than the other one because I know you can't see it, but there actually are glass here. And with the light in the middle. So this is actually called a globe fixture, okay? So that is the globe. The last one I want to talk about is called the cage. What is that? Okay, so this is the cage. And I know you've seen this. Different variations in this one. The cage is a style where lights are wrapped in a cage effect. Many different shapes. They could be triangles, they can be squares, rectangular, even the globe can be called a cage. It's kind of, it can be called a globe, you can call it a cage. Most of the time, I like to call the round ones globe because Basically, that's what they are. But this is called a cage, and it comes in variations of shape. Here's one. Here's another one. I like this one a lot. This is kind of pretty. Okay, you can see that one. This one, some people call this a lantern. Whoops, because it kind of looks like a lantern, but it's actually called a cage. Okay, and this one kind of looks like, well, kind of looks like a bird cage, doesn't it? But these are all variations of the style called cage. So the other thing I wanted to talk to you about is, like I said, there's combinations of styles and shape, and they do intermingle with one another. There's also chandelier tiers. There's one tier with just one layer of tier of lights. There are 2 layers, 3 layer, 4 layer, 5 layers. And I'm going to tell you, the more layers you have, of course, the more cost the chandelier will be. The other thing I want you to keep in mind, chandelier, I come across this all the time with my clients. How big should I get it? What size should I get? It's all very confusing. So I'm going to give you some guidelines when you're choosing your chandelier so you have a basic understanding. When you're hanging the chandelier over the table, it should be between 30 and 34 inches from the bottom, from the top of the table to the bottom of the chandelier. Between 30 and 34. You could probably do a little bit more, 36. I wouldn't probably do more than 38, okay? Or another way to look at it is between 60 to 66 inches from the bottom of the floor, from the top, the floor, to the bottom of the chandelier. Either way, it's fine. So that is the proper height. Sometimes I see the chandeliers way too low, and sometimes I see the chandelier way too high. If it's too low, it's going to obstruct your view to your guests. If it's too high, you're not lighting the table, you're lighting the ceiling. So you want to make sure that you're hanging the chandelier the correct way. Now, the next question I ask, and I see this a lot as far as mistakes and what size, is they don't know what size chandelier to get, especially if you're hanging it over the table. Now, I have a friend who bought a chandelier, but this chandelier is so huge over the dining room table, it dominates the room. Again, you don't want it to dominate it. You want it to accentuate it. You want to add some ambience to the room, but you don't want it to overwhelm the room. So how do you do that? So it's half the size of your dining room table. So if your dining room table is 48 inches, the width of your chandelier should be 24, with variations. It could be 22, it could be 23, it could be 25, it could be 26. 2 to 3 inches, give or take, is not too bad. But again, nothing too small and nothing too big. That if it's hanging over the table in a dining room. What happens if you're hanging a chandelier in a living room? Yes, you should definitely hang a chandelier in the living room. Then the formula is a little different because there's not a dining room table there. So then you would have to consider the length plus the width. So if your room is 16 by 20, you want to add the 16 to the 20, which makes it 36. So the base of your chandelier should be 36. This is where a lot of people get into trouble. I walk into a room and it's a very big room and chandelier, right? Because it should have been a 36-inch chandelier, and they got maybe like an 18-inch, and so it just gets lost. And on the opposite side, they'll have maybe like a 36-inch chandelier, and maybe in a room that should have only had like maybe a 24-inch chandelier. So these are really good guidelines to make sure that you're putting the right chandelier in the right space. Well, that's it for now. Like I said, this is one of my favorite subjects because I think chandeliers should be put in every room. You don't have to get very blingy about it. It doesn't have to be overwhelmingly with lots of crystals. You can keep it really simple, but nothing, and I do mean nothing, adds class and elegance and adds some ambiance to any room like chandelier. So please consider that when you're doing the next room. And if you should need any help, I am here for you. Again, love to hear any comments you have, so please write them below. And until next week, I will see you then. Everybody have a great week. Bye now.